While most airlines in the United States and Europe are privately owned, many of the world's largest global carriers are owned at least in part by their respective governments. These carriers often operate differently as they attempt to fulfill government strategic initiatives rather than simply return the highest profits to their shareholders. In today's video, we'll take a deep dive into the 10 largest airlines that are fully or partially state-owned, with rankings based on the number of destinations served. So, let's get started. At the bottom of our top 10 list, in 10th place, is Russia's Aeroflot. The flag carrier of the Russian Federation is rather unsurprisingly state-owned, with the Russian government controlling 73.77% of shares prior to the invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Since the war began and sanctions have been placed on Russia, more accurate financials have not been reported by the carrier. Indeed, it has been reported that the airline has repossessed shares held by creditors in sanction-imposing nations. But prior to February 2022, the carrier served a noteworthy 146 destinations. However, their route network has since been cut down drastically to 110. Making matters worse for the airline is that its membership in Global Alliance SkyTeam has been suspended. Should the war end, Aeroflot's status, network and ownership could potentially change. Coming in 9th place on our list is Korean Air. The flag carrier of South Korea, which serves 121 destinations with a fleet of 164 aircraft, is an unexpected entry on this list. While the airline was originally founded in 1962 as the state-owned Korean Airlines, the carrier's ownership has since been greatly diversified. However, among the carrier's stakeholders, the Korean government does maintain a roughly 10% share, with 3% of the company controlled by the state-owned Korea Development Bank and another 7% of shares owned by the National Pension Service of Korea. Additionally, the airline's largest shareholder, the Hanjin Kal Group, is owned in part by the Korean government as well, with the Development Bank controlling over 10% of shares. Rather uniquely among airlines that are in part state-owned, Korean Air provides stock ownership options to their employees, and as such, 4.3% of the company is controlled by the airline's own staff. Interesting. In position number 8 is IAG member airline Vueling. It's a rather interesting entry on this list. The Spanish airline, a low-cost carrier, is based in Barcelona and connects 148 destinations with a fleet of 125 narrow-body aircraft. The airline's state ownership doesn't come from the Spanish government, however, but rather from the Qatari one. Vueling is a member of the International Airlines Group, or IAG. This group is partially owned by the government of Qatar, a 25.43% stake to be precise. While this ultimately doesn't amount to a controlling interest, the state of Qatar certainly maintains some influence over the massive airline conglomerate. Number 7 is Emirates. The unmistakable Dubai-based carrier is unsurprisingly fully state-owned, with the Investment Corporation of Dubai maintaining complete ownership. Indeed, state ownership was a major point of contention with US carriers a few years back, with the airlines in the United States alleging that the playing field was unfair. Thankfully, this dispute is over, and major airlines in the Middle East and the United States have been forming closer relations in recent years. Getting back to Emirates, the airline serves over 130 destinations with its fleet of over 260 Boeing 777s and Airbus A380s, and is part of the overall Emirates Group. This group maintains investments across the food, beverage and leisure sectors. The conglomerate as a whole posted a 2022 profit of nearly $3 billion. In spot number 6 is Qatar Airways. This airline, the flag carrier of Qatar, maintains a fleet of over 230 aircraft and serves over 170 destinations. In case you were unaware, the airline is entirely owned by the Qatari government. Led by Akbar al-Bakr, Qatar Airways turned a profit of over $1.2 billion last year, partially thanks to the travel boom brought by the 2022 FIFA World Cup held in Qatar. The carrier's fully state-owned status has pulled the airline into international political tensions, such as the Saudi-led blockade of the nation, which started in 2017 and ended in 2021. In spot number 5 is Air China. This carrier is one-third of China's big three airlines. The carrier, which serves 201 destinations worldwide with a fleet of over 490 aircraft, is controlled primarily by the Chinese government. Indeed, the government maintains a 53.46% stake in the company. Interestingly, Cathay Pacific, the flag carrier of Hong Kong, also maintains a strong interest in the airline at 18.13%. Air China, much like the other major Chinese carriers, posted a record loss in 2022 of $5.6 billion. Number 4 is a bit of a surprise: Air France. The traditional French flag carrier, which maintains a fleet of 243 aircraft and serves over 220 destinations, is a subsidiary of the larger Air France-KLM group. This is an airline conglomerate owned by a variety of investors. The French government maintains a 28.6% share in Air France's parent company, which, while not a controlling interest, certainly allows for some control over the airline. Foreign carriers also maintain shares in Air France-KLM, such as China Eastern Airlines with a 4.7% stake and Delta with 2.9%. Now we've reached our top 3 airlines. Coming in at number 3 is China Southern Airlines. This carrier maintains a fleet of over 650 aircraft and serves 216 destinations with scheduled passenger flights and a variety of cargo-only connections. The Chinese government holds a 75.4% stake in the carrier, and other Chinese enterprises control roughly 5% more. Foreign investors also maintain a strong ownership base in the airline, with American Airlines controlling a 5.8% interest and US-based investment firms the Vanguard Group and BlackRock holding 1.6% and 0.8% shares respectively. The company posted a net loss of $2.5 billion in 2022. Our penultimate carrier at number 2 is the third major Chinese carrier, China Eastern Airlines. China Eastern is the world's 6th largest airline by number of destinations, providing service to 248 destinations worldwide. This SkyTeam Alliance member is majority-owned directly by the Chinese government, which maintains a 50.7% share. Other Chinese state-controlled companies maintain over 15% more of the company's shares. Surprisingly, some foreign investors maintain strong stakes in the company, such as Delta Airlines, which controls 9% of shares. The US-based Vanguard Group, an investment firm, also controls 1.6% of the company as of 2022. Last year, the airline posted a gross loss of $4.4 billion. Before we reveal our largest state-owned airline, do you have any guesses? Well, we won't drag it out further, but if you guessed that it was Turkish Airlines, then you're correct. The flag carrier of Turkey is the world's third largest airline by number of destinations served, with 340. This is only beaten by American Airlines and United, neither of which are state-owned. The Turkish government's Ministry Privatization Administration owns a sizable 49.12% non-controlling interest in the carrier, with the remaining 50.88% of the company's shares traded publicly. The airline returned a profit of $3.2 billion in 2022, a significant portion of which came back to the Turkish government. Turkish Airlines' fleet of 400 jets, alongside the carrier's other assets, has a net value of over $30 billion. While the airline is privately controlled, the carrier does play an important role in developing a Turkish national identity and bringing millions of tourists to the nation annually. What do you think of governments taking some ownership of major airlines? Share your thoughts by leaving a comment down below. Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.